My husband, 28M, and I, 32F, have been having trouble for a long time with our mental health, financial issues, etc. Romance has completely ended on my part, and we have the same talks month after month where I break down, and he doesn't seem to understand what adults should do next. I just wanted to get this out there because in this new year, I have decided to selfishly give up on doing it all and focus solely on me. For 6 years, I have made sure we had a roof over our heads, food in our bellies, and a way to get by. He cannot keep a job, blames his chronic pain and mental health, which he is finally getting help for, but this isn't about that. Heck, it's not even about the food he didn't cook. It's New Year's Day. My family's tradition is to make a specific meal for this day. It's super simple, and he has loved it since I introduced it to him years ago. Since then, we have either made it ourselves or been to family gatherings where they have made it. Today, I went out with my mother to shop and run errands. Normally, this takes a little longer, but we were tired since we were both recovering from sickness around Christmas time. I get home with everything, and nothing has been done. No chores, no follow-up on the laundry I started. It's 1:38 p.m. and there is no meat in the oven. I have to clean a pan and get the food in the oven, and he comes out of the bedroom. He starts asking how to make it. I tell him that he knows how. It is literally 3 steps. Little children in our family could do it, I swear. And he keeps asking, so I'm like, why do you keep asking? What's the point? And he says, I was going to put it in before you got home, but I just didn't because I didn't know how to do it. I asked him if there was any way he could have found out how to do it, perhaps asking my mother, my grandmother, my sisters, who don't eat it but still know how to make it, my brothers, or how about even the internet? And he said the phrase I keep hearing time and time again, I was trying to. I feel so incredibly wronged. Gaslit isn't the word, but I keep hearing him say, I'm trying to do XYZ, and never see real results. It feels like zero effort, less than zero effort. It is now almost 7 p.m., and I am finishing the food and sending servings out because whoever cooks it gives it away to family for the most part, and I am just sitting here tired, annoyed, frustrated. Men cannot be this helpless. This cannot be our future in our shackles. He just went about his day because it still got done in the end, and he will say I did such a good job and I cook it so well. I don't even want to share it with him. He didn't need to cook it, he didn't need to do anything, but he always has to say he was about to or going to do something when I have to end up doing it. I'm not sure what I needed from this other than to get it out. I feel so alone in this. Edit. Because I see this a lot, we both have our struggles. He has a psychiatrist and therapist that he recently started seeing, and he has depression and some other issues. I feel awful saying this, but for the first half of our relationship, I had my own problems, and I fought to get help, and I got help. I have meds and a therapist, but even when I was in the pits of despair and throes of my mental health issues, I still was the one who begged and borrowed to make sure we had rent or our lights turned back on. Update 1. I am home from work, and we had a conversation today on the phone. It boiled down to, I couldn't do this anymore, I needed real change, but all he offered was some sort of promise and no follow-through. He fought against what I said and told me that lately it just seems like I am stepping all over him and telling him what he does wrong, but never the other stuff, like when he finally cleaned half the bedroom, but neglected to feed our outside animals because he got busy and forgot. He was upset because it's not like I'm perfect either, and I said that I know and that at least I can take accountability for the things I say and do or don't do. We have really struggled in the last 4 years with keeping jobs. Once one of us got a job, the other would not have one for one reason or another. I finally got on the right meds and got into grad school. I had just worked a job that was very taxing on me and then left it shortly after I had major surgery, and he wasn't much of a help with that surgery either. He didn't do the laundry or sweep the floors. I did so much, and he will argue that it's because I don't let him do these things. I snapped this past summer, and we had our first real fight. This is the context. Previously, he had managed and helped open restaurants in the past, but he always seemed to leave his job for pain or petty reasons. But then he landed a simple and easy job that he could do easily. It was close to home, great coworkers, decent pay. He told me I didn't need a full-time job, that I could finally rely on him to pursue school so I could get this degree and hopefully drag us out of poverty. Then he starts missing work, and we fall behind on bills. I had to go out and get a full-time job to help while still doing school full-time, and I realized that I could never truly rely on him. I couldn't rely on him to have any money in his card or to handle a simple mishap without calling me and needing me to do everything for him. I was done after that. I am currently overwhelmed, but this is my house, technically my parents', and I won't be going anywhere. I just came home to him having written himself a schedule and a plan for the month to show me how serious he is. I know I told him I wanted him to write down exactly what he was going to do, but it feels so elementary, and I can't handle it. He cleaned part of the kitchen and reheated leftovers for me for dinner. I can do that myself. Jesus Christ, please go do something useful. After the conversation today, I realize that he won't be changing. These lists and schedules are just for show. I am tired of being lied to and manipulated. I'm going to ship him back home and let his mother deal with him. Wish me luck in getting this to actually happen this time. Update 2. I asked him again for a divorce, and he sobbed so loudly and threatened to end his life. He said there's no life for him without me. I told him that I had been asking for a divorce since our biggest fight in July. He said that we seemed okay after that, and I asked him what part of my monthly breakdowns and sobbing in the bathroom, begging him to change and stop the cycle, seemed okay. What part of me keeping things civil so I only cried twice a week instead of daily seemed like our marriage was normal and on the right track. He was supposed to drive back to his home state weeks ago. Then he said his therapist said I was wrong, and what about his insurance issues, and that I'm abandoning him and he has nothing. He has no vehicles in his name, as I had bought them, he has no money to use, as he has no job, and he will have nothing without me. I said that sounded like something he should have thought about before it came to this. We went to pick up the rental car, twice in a snowstorm, and each time there was something wrong with the reservation, so we went home. He needs to take a lot of his stuff with him so it won't need to be shipped. I'm sorry if this is harebrained, but I took a break from crying to get this out. I have been having the best weekend. We had agreed to a legal separation on New Year's, so I was free. He just didn't want to know if I was hooking up with anyone, but he has become upset and possessive when I go out, and I am gone from home now more than I am home, thank God. Yesterday was so good, I was in the best mood. Then, I am getting ready to go out for a girls' night, and he comes into the bathroom to talk. It leads to an argument, and I sob so hard I can't breathe. I cannot keep having the same argument with the same words. He says he just wants me to be happy, but that's not true or he wouldn't do this. He said he's got job offers and he's going to go back to an old job, and he has a plan to fix our debts in 4 months. I told him it was too little too late. He said it's unfair that I can't stick around for his mental health issues now that he's in therapy, and that I had issues too and he stuck around. Remember when my mental health was bad in 2019? Oh yeah, I do. He had burned bridges, and we were living in a Jeep, failing college, working crappy jobs, and he was miserable at the time, and I had a failed pregnancy. Yep, I freaking remember that. And yet I was still the one who kept us afloat, the one who made sure we had gas money or food or a place to park our home. I cannot keep lighting myself on fire to keep this man warm. I told him that he can stay in the other room since he refuses to leave, and he can watch up close and personal as I move on. But if he won't sign papers, I will unalive in this marriage. I'm trapped like a wild animal with its leg caught in a trap, desperate for freedom, willing to gnaw its leg off and deal with the pain later. He never hit me, never threatened to, never was abusive in any real obvious ways. I wanted out, and he won't go. God help me, I'm trapped. Update 3. We were stonewalling. He was going to leave, then he decided that the spare bedroom was perfect. He got an old job back at a fast food joint, but the truckiest won't take a registration or pass inspection and is falling apart. This is why he didn't drive back to his home state. My parents were supportive, then what felt like very unsupportive, until last night when crap hit the fan and my father was everything I needed and more. It started with Gray rocking my husband, until his insecurity raged and he needed to know if I was cheating on him during this legal separation. I spoke calmly, but he only wanted to argue the same things. So I walked up to my parents' house, as we live on the same property but a large farm. My father was worried, and he stated as such. He told me that he raised me to go toe-to-toe with any man and not let them dictate to me. He told me that being soft-hearted was my strength and weakness, but sometimes it's time to not be nice. You don't have to be mean, but you can take back control. With an hour-long talk, I went back down to speak calmly to my husband. And that's where things hit the fan fast. I spoke calmly, like someone from HR talking to an employee. I let him get out the mean things he's been saying like, "You're throwing away the last 5 years. We took vows to be with each other through thick and thin. You're abandoning me, can't we just try a trial separation and not a divorce?" I stood by my decisions and even told him at one point that he was welcome to express his feelings and anger, but that he can do them in his own room and not in the rest of my house because his space is his room. It went bad, and he threatened to off himself and told me to drive him to the hospital. We got in the car, and he was screaming that he wouldn't have lived if he didn't think we had a chance. I was so shaky and scared, I actually backed my car into my parked truck. At one point as we got into town, he tried to open the door and jump out. I said he needed to be seen and wasn't safe. He said he would just off himself after the hold was up. I felt no emotions, just the need to get there safely. We got there, and he screamed at me in the parking lot like I've never seen before. He said, "Just take me home." I said, "You can't come home now, go inside and get better." After a lot of arguing, I finally pulled the Uno reverse card and said that if he ever cared about me, he would go get help. I was sobbing, and he told me he loved me and yelled at me to say it back. I told him, "Please get better." And he walked in and was committed. My father stopped me before I left for work this morning and told me that now was my chance. He didn't want him there and was worried. So, I called my husband's mother and left a message to talk tonight. When that 72-hour hold is up, he is going home to his home state with his parents or best friend. There is no other option. I purged my feelings last night in a ridiculous roller coaster, and now I feel free. I did it, and I can breathe now. I don't believe the words he said last night, and I know my life is going to be absolutely incredible. Thank you all for the support.